Here we go, guys. We are in game number 2 on King Sejong Station. Heyo. Down here at the bottom right side of the map in the green, we have Seed's very own Bones. I do like that Seed logo. I actually like the Seed logo better than I like the Root logo. You go, Seed. You go. Over here at the top left side, leading the series 1-0, we have Hendralisk. Henry the Hendralisk, man. I was watching a stream once and I think somebody asked them, they're just like, what does Hendralisk stand for? Is it like some like nickname or something like that? And like the whole chat like bursted out laughing. Like the guy didn't know his name was Henry, so he didn't understand why his name was Hendralisk. But at the same time, he's got such a name that works like well with it, because I don't know, at least Hendralisk sounds very natural. The name comes off like Hydro almost. It's like Hydralisk, Hendralisk. It's like right there. You can't do that with like my name, like Daniel Lisk or Dan Lisk. I guess you could do Dan Lisk, Brad Lisk, Brett Lisk, Bro Lisk, Brittany Lisk. You can't like see like Hendralisk just comes off naturally. Hendralisk just comes off really naturally. Anyways, yeah, Miles Lisk. That doesn't work either, man. Bones over here. Forge Fast Expand coming out from him. Dropping the Forge, first of all. On a big map like this with a big ramp, you do, unless you send out your probe very... unless you basically send your probe out right away, right at the very start of the game across the map to scout out your opponent, it is very risky to drop down the Nexus first. But at the same time, if you're very confident in your ability to, you know, cannon up and hold everything in time after you drop the Nexus, then by all means go for it. The problem is, like, on this side of the map, it's a very big ramp. It's a very big ramp. And now, gets pile blocked right there for the time being. Hatch, of course, opens up. Probe still does continue to live. We'll head over to the top right side of the map. We'll see how much Hendralisk decides to split up. And he's actually going absolutely everywhere. And looks like two lings head over to the top left, but one manages to stay a little bit too close. But there we go. One does find a probe. That's the magic ling right there. The wall does continue off right there, just waiting for the gateway to finish up to drop the cybernetics core. And he's gonna have I think a pretty tight wall if I'm not mistaken. So there we go. Gate finishes. Bump. Probe actually heads out. Where's the cyber core at? Oh, he's sending out another probe to go because he lost his. Okay. Well, you know what? That's not actually a really tight wall. That's, I think, maybe enough for an Immortal. Like, I don't know. Does Stalker actually wall that off? I feel like I'm having perception issues right now. I feel like that's not the tightest wall off. Hold on. Maybe it is. I can't tell. Like, I don't think just one Zealot's going to be able to wall it off. It doesn't seem tight enough. I don't know. I'm losing my mind, man. I'm losing my mind. Watching casting too much StarCraft. You get sketched out by some things like that. Bones, we'll see how he decides to follow this up. Does he go once again into Stargate? Does he go for, this time, more Robotech? Really, again, up to him. Hendralisk still has yet to grab his third hatch, and ooh, Henry. We might see some swarm hosts out of this guy right here. You might want to try to kill the probe off before that, though. So, Bones knows about no third base. I think he just spotted, if we take a look at his vision right now. He knows that there's another gas coming up. He doesn't know about anything inside the main base yet. But at the same time, by not seeing a hatch down just yet, he does have to kind of concern himself, and the fact that he knows he's playing Hendralisk, or any of the complexity Zergs, he's got to be a little bit aware of potential shenanigans. Because somebody like Moose Gills and somebody like Hendralisk, they really love their swarm hosts. Even though we don't exactly see as much these days from Hendralisk, he, in my opinion, is one of the best swarm host players in the game. Doesn't matter what region, North America, Korea, Europe, Southeast Asia, India, Papua New Guinea, hell, man, the Cayman Islands. I don't care what region, man. He's one of the best swarm hosts He's one of the best Swarm Host players, so even though he doesn't use them a lot, I think he controls them much better than a lot of players, and he's got a better understanding out of them. So with the Infestation Pit about to finish up, we're going to get a little bit of a sneak peek into this thing. Yeah, and of course, yeah, Swarm Host. Like, and yeah, okay. Okay, hold on now. I'm very interested to see if Hendralisk paid attention to yesterday's Red Bull qualifiers. I'm very, very interested, because if he did, then this is exactly actually how dead, almost to the point, how Symbol played. This is almost directly how Symbol played. Now, Henry has done this before many times on his stream as well. But the build order is very, very crisp in terms of resemblance to yesterday's game. I feel like Hendralisk usually grabs the third base, and then he drops like the Nidus network, and then eventually kind of gets more of it out. But this time around, he's going to be in a pretty good position. Don't forget about it also, he's got a lot of room to work with now. He decides to put it in the proper position due to the fact he spots the Warp Prism coming over to the bottom left side of the map. And Nidus Swarm is going to finish up here. Of course, Queens are going to be such a beneficial unit, because as soon as the Swarm Hosts do drop out, he's going to be able to start creeping, and you can see he already brought a couple of drones with him. Now, this is a little bit different. This is something this is more Hendralisk-esque style. He brings the drones with him a lot sooner and decides to start building those Spore Crawlers as soon as he possibly can. Now, this is a very big problem for a Protoss player, because usually if somebody like Bones, if he doesn't have already Colossus out on the map, he's going to start losing structures left and right. There's not enough fire. Of course, we'll be talking about that magic number that you typically need of... Oh, Queens are like, get the hell out of here. Usually you need that magic number of Colossus, number 5, 6, with plus upgrades as well. And this is... Hendralisk's got to be careful as he moves off. He's got to be very careful. Okay, there we go. He brought the Queens. I'm like, he really needs a creep spread, though, to be able to get not only the Locust speed up there, but as well so he could, you know, replace the Spore Crawlers and start building that wall off. This is so hard to deal with, I consider. Unless you have a numbers advantage and unless you have a lot of Colossus. Right now, what Bones should honestly be doing, he should be knocking down these rocks right away. If he's got zealots, if he's got any range units that he doesn't want to use to defend this wall, he needs to start knocking down the rocks, because he's going to need to give himself an escape, or he's going to need to build a nexus over there, or do something to give himself another base on the other side, because over here on this right side, he's not going to be able to pull it off, unfortunately. Now, keep in mind, too, as well, Hendralisk not exactly going completely crazy with the creep spread as well. He's keeping some energy on the Queens to make sure that transfuses are still available, just in case something bad does happen. Now, 2 Colossus are out, but... I mean, you're looking at more and more Swarm Hosts start to get closer into position. That Spore Wall is going to get only worse. Creep Spread's already doing a pretty good job all over the map. Now, back over here, it looks like Bones is still trying to figure out the best way to possibly continue harassing. Locust, of course, clearing out the Zealot packs. No third base out for Henry, and this is concerning me, because if he stays too long on 2 base, he will probably end up forcing himself all in. Yeah, lifts up. And you can see the Colossus right now are desperately trying to blow everything away. But with the Locust life, with the creep also spreading out really nicely, it's going to become a lot harder to hold off against this. Now he's trying to force field off a lot of these Locusts. We have more and more Swarm Hosts coming into the fray. A lot of force fields are going to be used right here just to be able to wall off and hopefully try to get these spores. But remember, the Queens are there. The Queens are there with a lot of energy right now. They're going to be able to transfuse, and already the Spore Crawler's poking away back that Mothership Core. And now the next thing to go is going to be that Cyber Core. He's already forced Bones back. No more Sentry production. No more Stalker production. Does he have another Cyber Core to work with in the back? He does. Oh my god, that's actually... I didn't notice that. That's actually so smart by Bones, by the way. So smart by Bones. He could have lost that Cyber Core and been so SOL'd right now. Now we have that kind of Rain-esque typical type of Protoss composition that usually you would see more off of 3 base, the Stalkers, the Colossus. He desperately, though, needs to hold this off, though. If he can blow through the Time Warp, if he can blow through the force fields, if he could start knocking out those Colossus numbers, it's going to be very important. The Queens are trying to do the best that they possibly can to buffer for these Swarm Hosts. Is there an Observer? The Observer's in the back. I can barely see. He needs to really desperately get to those units, but now no sentries available. The Stalkers are beginning to fall pretty quickly. Can he blow through this wave of Locusts and continue on to the Swarm Host? The Queens are trying to buffer as long as they possibly can. Swarm Host beginning to fall. Henry in a lot of trouble right now. He's trying to bring over some additional Swarm Hosts back from home. Does Henry, is he going to be able to continue? Colossus with the army forcing back. We have the Locusts actually bunching up. Observer going to be looking on ahead. Locust coming also from the south side, and oh, he's got to reburrow them. Blink Stalkers blink on forward. Able to get one Storm Host. Are they going to be able to get another? Potentially. And this is what I was talking about, man. That third base. Without having that third base econ, without being able to produce as efficiently as he wants, he went very risky. He went very risky. He was hoping that Bones wasn't going to be making Colossus. Maybe he was hoping that he was going air. Or maybe he was just hoping that his timing would have been enough to deal with this. But Bones, man, with the +2 Colossus, he had 5. Actually going to get number 5 right now. Able to blow everything back and away. And you got to realize too as well, Hendralisk doesn't have any plus upgrades on those Locusts or the Carapace upgrades, so unfortunately they don't have as much firepower. So as much as I say that this build resembled Symbol, due to the fact that he didn't have the third base, due to the fact that he didn't have the upgrades for the missile attacks and the Carapace, the Locusts were a little bit weaker, and yeah, that's... well, it's not game. It's not game. It's not game, but man, it definitely feels like it. And now, third base getting probed right now by the Protoss player. Knocks out the drone out of the way. But fortunately, Hendralisk does cancel. Meanwhile, over here, Bones building a proxy nexus on the left side of the map. Looks like there were a few Swarm Hosts still actually left over back on the other side of the map that Bones didn't attend to, but unfortunately those Swarm Hosts, if they have nothing really to poke at, then they become dead weight units. And now here comes Bones coming into the natural. Hendralisk not going to have enough time to build up the defenses, not going to have enough time to bring everything back, unfortunately, and I think we're going to see the GG come out here momentarily.